All right. Good evening, everybody. This is Jim Howard, Jessica Howard with Trinity Security Allies. Thanks for coming out tonight. It is the opening night of NFL. For those of you who still watch, I mean, Jessica and I are still diehard Cowboy fans. So you just have to, understand that we're both sitting here in our jerseys. And after this is over with, we're going to go watch the game. But we really felt that it was important that we got out tonight and started talking about a new church threat that we're seeing more and more of. And it's really not only churches, it seems to be everywhere. Of course, you know that we get these Google alerts every day to where we're taking a look at what's happening in churches around the country or just things that are happening around the country. And we see a lot of stuff that is really starting to concern us. So we're going to kind of like go through some of the things that we've been seeing. And of course, one of the first things that we ever do when we come into your church is that we go and look at your children's ministry, because we want to make sure that your children's ministry is safe. I mean, that's the number one thing that is our responsibility. A lot of people think that we want to keep the congregation safe, which is true, that we want to keep the pastors safe, which is true. But really, in actuality, the children's ministry, the children are our future. And if we do not protect them, if we do not constantly protect them, then you will lose your church. So that's one of the things that we talk about. Well, I went to a church not too long ago, and at the church, I noticed that the bathroom that the children's ministry used was also being used by adults. And this was really a concern of mine. And we had a long conversation about it, and we started talking about how they could make changes. And of course, they're in the process of making these changes. But we've seen this all over in other churches all across the United States, of where children use the same bathroom as adults. And it always makes me cringe, because this is where we find our predators. This is where we find those that really are seeking to hurt our children, or, just predators, like we said. But one of the things that we really have been paying attention to, and Jessica even went out and did some documents for me. And one of the things that we're seeing is cameras in the wrong places. Now, when you go out and do a search, and we'll kind of look at some of these, you can find all sorts of cameras out here that are, as you see in this picture right here, this one right here is camouflaged as an air freshener. But we go and we look at the papers, what we're seeing, parents angry, a secondary school installs CCTV cameras in the students' bathrooms. Now, the thing about it, the parents were angry, but the Durham Secondary School argued that the CCTV is needed in the boys and girls toilet to monitor their behaviors. I would be looking for a different school. I really would. We go in and we see a.
And I just want to say really quick too, Dad, is that I do think that this is in Europe. So this is not in America. But what they do over there, just for a little bit more background, is, because I was reading into it, is that they put them, the rule over there is that you can have them in bathrooms. So it is legal to kind of do that, but you have to have stationary cameras, which means you can't zoom in, you can't zoom out, and you can't move them anyway. And you have to have them specifically pointed at the common area. So that was kind of the justification that they used. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that it was not in the US that we were doing this yet.
Well, and when we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the second one here is a Coppell fire captain hid cameras in bathrooms to record family members, his own family members. A Denton County, Texas man was arrested after authorities said he installed hidden cameras in his home bathroom to secretly record family members. I don't even understand that one. Music teacher who hid cameras in school's bathroom jailed for 50 years. A music teacher will likely spend the rest of his life in prison after hiding cameras in his music school's bathroom and other areas to produce child pornography. Philip Close of Rochester, New York, was sentenced to 50 years in prison after it was released that what he had done. He pled guilty to 74 charges in March, including 61 counts of the production of child pornography and 13 counts of possessions of material containing child pornography involving minors. Close owned a Close School of Music in West Ridge Road in New York. and between 2016 to 2019 had provided private music lessons to children of all ages. But yet at the same time, he had hid a camera in his bathroom. Predatory pastor planted hidden cameras in bathrooms, circulated child pornography online. Now, this was another Texas pastor who was found guilty of circulating child pornography, planting hidden cameras to commit sexual acts against children, has been sentenced to 30 years in penitentiary. Now, don't think that Florida gets out of this, because a Florida youth minister put hidden cameras in church bathrooms. A Florida Panhandle youth minister was arrested after investigators say he installed a hidden camera in a church bathroom. Now, when we talk about this, the reason why we have to understand, if a person has a reasonable expectation of privacy, you cannot put a camera in there. And that is specifically in bathrooms. So I don't know of a single state that would put a camera in a bathroom and not get into, well, I don't know of a single state where a church could put a camera in a bathroom or a locker room, especially if you have a gym or something like that. But we see these things happening all over the country. And it is just something that we as safety team members now need to start paying attention to. And we're going to get into little ways that we can do this. Now, we're going to be
One quick thing about current events really quick is that
Sure.
these are just recent examples. There were many more that we found going back. I did see another report, and I can't remember the numbers, but it was over 0.5% of employees that a specific group of employees that were asked said that they have found cameras in bathrooms, hidden cameras, but they just don't, 60% said that they would not tell their employer. So it is happening a lot more than I realized when I was going out to do research, because just the technology of cameras just being how small they are. And so these are just recent. I think all of these are from 2021, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure at least 2020 to 2021.
So what should we be doing as church safety members? First off, we have to alert members inside the church. And this is your greeters and your ushers who probably go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, but they need to be alert on keeping an eye on the bathroom. You know, I was looking for pictures of hidden cameras in the bathroom. And of course, the only one I could find is of a hooded suspect that we would definitely be watching. But as Jessica said, these cameras can be really small, tiny little things, as you see this one held in the hand, or as sophisticated as that, or as unsophisticated as a cell phone. And the reports that we continuously look at and we continuously find show that they are going in and planting these cameras inside the bathroom. And then, of course, being able to monitor it and watch what's going on their cell phones. So there's certain things that we can kind of do to help out on this. Now, one of the things that we talk about when we get into this is a bathroom suite. Now, we're going to be sending you a lot of information, those that are signed on, but anything that you see in this room right here in this bathroom could be a hidden camera. I mean, they are that sophisticated. So you kind of need to keep your eyes on things that look different or things that have changed on you. Something that does not look right, as we say, does not look right, DLR. So there's an organization called RealLink, gives 5 different ways to spot cameras in bathrooms. The first thing that they say is just a simple scan the environment. Look at conventional hiding places like plants, wall decor, tissue boxes, wall sockets, air filters, and more. Essentially, just do a full sweep of the area, a visual sweep of the area. Another way to do this with no equipment is to turn off all the lights and look for anything blinking or a light that is out of place. Using a flashlight is also beneficial, as it will help you find otherwise hidden pieces of equipment. Now, I have a story on this, and I mean, this is where I thought we were a little more sophisticated, but we hid a camera when we thought that one of our church members was stealing money from us. And it amazed me that the first time that we hit it, it was so obvious and nobody saw it. But the second time that we hit it, where we thought we were going to be a little more not as obvious, the person that we were watching noticed it right away. And I think the reason why he noticed it, because what you have to understand is, and where it says right here is to turn off the light, and any blinking light or is out of, or a light that is out of place. Another thing that I noticed is a lot of times these cameras make a noise as they click on. So I think that the second time, because they go into kind of a sleep mode, and then when motion triggers it, it kicks back on and starts to record. Well, I noticed that as soon as the guy that we were watching moved into the area, moved into where he was counting the money and stuff like that, he looked up. He immediately looked up, and I know that the camera made a clicking noise. So if you hear an unusual clicking noise when you walk into your bathroom, or every time you walk into a bathroom, something clicks, it's probably a camera turning on. Now, some of these small ones might not make the noise, and they may be on 24/7, or as long as the battery is good. But just do a visual. It is also recommended to do the mirror trick. Now, what they were talking about the mirror trick is that if you put your finger up against a mirror and there is a space, and that is because of the material, the mirroring material, say that one 5 times fast, will show a gap between your finger and the reflection of the finger on the mirror. And they said that if you put your finger on the mirror and there is no gap, that might mean that somebody has scraped off some of the reflective material in the back, and there is a camera there. So these are just little things. Now, there are also apps that you can use, and we'll send you a link. I have a link it talks about the top 12 hidden camera detectors for apps for Androids and iPhones, and it's by a company called Easy Tech Trick. The other thing that they say that you can do is just by walking in and placing a call on your cell phone and walking around the room, you can listen for any interference or static that might be present if a camera is in use. Now, like I said, these things will be sending out to you so that you can kind of start doing these bathroom sweeps, because I am so concerned that our churches, we probably already have a multitude of churches that have already been hit, and we just don't know about it, because unless you're watching for it. And like Jessica said, she went out and looked for different stories, different articles, different things that were going along across the United States, and they're there every single day. It's not just the bathrooms in our churches, but it's the bathrooms in our businesses. It's the public bathrooms you go into. They're everywhere. So you might start wanting to watch for these things. You might come across one and, help the police make an arrest, especially in a public bathroom.
And also, it's not just bathrooms too. If your church has a gym, if you're in a school, or if you have a gym connected, also in locker rooms, changing rooms, nursing rooms, if you have a room for nursing mothers, just anywhere where there's an expectation of privacy, and where you can think of that somebody might want to put a camera. So that's just something also to consider, is that really anywhere where people expect privacy, you want to be checking for cameras now. Because we have seen them, especially in school, changing rooms, locker rooms, stuff like that.
And that brings up one of these things that we're talking about, paying attention to what's going on. Because if you do have a nursing room, there shouldn't be a man in there. So if all of a sudden you catch some male coming out of there, there needs to be a reason why. He could be looking at you going, well, I was checking on it for my wife. And hopefully his wife is, not that far behind him. But we should be checking these rooms out. We have a changing room for a baptism, and we have a women's and we have a men's. I would hate to think that we would have somebody going and place a camera inside our changing room where the baptism people are changing from baptism. But I tell you, after this article and after the things that we've been seeing, I'm going to be checking these rooms. It would really upset me to find that, but trust me, just when I say, nothing will surprise me, something happens and I just go, I didn't see that one coming. So we really have to be aware of what is going on. And really, to tell you the truth, that's basically our presentation for tonight. I'm hoping that if you have any questions, because we really wanted to get you started thinking about this. We will be passing out the things that we told you, the real link that gives the 5 different ways to spot cameras in bathrooms. This is the easy thing. The top 12 hidden camera detector apps. I went out and looked at them, and I can tell you that I think that simple observation is the best way to do it. A lot of them are paid. A lot of them have ads on them and things like that. And I was reading some of the reviews on it, and there was a lot of frustration. But any way that you can work toward making sure that this does not happen in your church, you need to be really watching and paying attention.
And I think that a great way that you mentioned without having to pay for anything is just walking around and placing calls, having a phone conversation and seeing if they're static or if it cuts out, because I did see that pop up a lot. So just if you do want to use technology, or, but like you said, there are apps, and then you can buy a professional camera sweeper. But I think that observation and just watching, if a man walks out of the women's restroom, that's a clue.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah,
call that a clue. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So just observation is really the best, is what a lot of people are saying.
But it
And there are no
happens.
questions so far.
But and let me just say this also, it happens in both male and female. It's not
Yes.
only in the females. We're seeing it in both sides, because predators, little children, or anybody else that might use a bathroom, they're looking for it. They're watching for it, and they're hoping that they might catch somebody, one of them going to the bathroom. So it's in male and female. Don't think you don't need to check the men's room. Don't think that you don't need to check, those areas where men go to, because it is the same. It really, I don't see a difference between the two, really, because when they look at it and when they look at the child pornography, a lot of it has to do with boys that they're exploiting and showing online.
So I guess I have a question for you really quick, because there are no questions in the chat right now. For churches, I know specifically, I'm thinking about our church, that we have a children's ministry and a restroom that the kids normally use, but also I know volunteers also use those restrooms. Would you recommend that only kids are allowed in there? And
We've
then I would
changed
ask,
that.
well, what about?
We've changed that.
Okay,
Volunteers do not use the restroom. Do not use the
okay.
children's ministry restroom. They go across to the adult restroom.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if you recommend just completely
Well,
separate.
and Jess, you and I have both seen article after article of where guys, youth ministers, are caught doing
Oh
these
yeah.
type of things, molesting children or taking photos or different things like that. So yeah, we made it a rule that they have to go to an adult bathroom to go to the bathroom.
Mhm. This might be just getting too in depth, but if parents need to, go with the kid, do you send them to the parental bathroom or an adult bathroom too, or
Well,
do you let them
if
go
if
in?
if the parents need to go with them, we kind of would like them
Okay.
to go to the adult bathroom. We would. Yes.
Mhm. Just being nitpicky because there's no questions yet. Trying to give people time to think of some.
Well, we'll go through the commercials that we normally have to go through. So,
Okay.
all right, save the date here, October 16th, 2021, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're going to open the doors at 7:50. We're really excited about this because I'm going to show you a list of the speakers that we're having this year. And that is Frank Pomeroy, who is the pastor at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. My viewers, my team members, all those guys, everybody that's on this, they need to be inviting their pastors to hear Frank's speech. It is a powerful, powerful testimony of how he and his wife have survived after over half of the congregation was killed that day. And almost 90% of the congregation was injured, shot and injured. This is just going to be a powerful story that we're going to have. We're going to have, he used to be called Corporal Alan Wilkett, but now he is not corporal. He is retired, but he's going to be talking about human trafficking. We're also going to have Ricky Rooks, who is with USCCA. He's going to come back and talk. Dr. Mark Jones is going to be talking about what we call the One Blood Summit, and what that is about the terrible things as far as racism that seems to be coming into our churches. Sandra Smith, she spoke last year, and she's going to be talking about Protect My Ministry, which is a program that helps screen those who are going to be working with your children. Joanne Baer, she's the lead medical at Generation. She's going to be talking about medical equipment and different things that you can get for inexpensive prices to work as medical equipment. Cameron Allen, he talked last year. He's going to be talking about mental health. Please do not get hung up on that electro whatever. but he's with the Florida surgeon consultants right now, and they're talking about PTSD and mental health, which is one of the things that we're bringing up and we're talking about right now. It is something that is coming into our churches more and more. It is happening all over the place. One of the churches here locally had a lady with a mental health issue get up on the stage with the pastor here about 3 weeks ago, here locally in the Tampa Bay area. We'll have Paul Adderton talking about general liability insurance. Angelina Saraba, she's an attorney for the Alliance Defending Freedom. She's going to be talking also about liability in your churches, what you should and should not be doing, so that they could, if they were called in, be able to protect you. And then there's also Holly Wade. She's with the Tampa Bay Regional Intelligence Center. She's coming in to talk about a program that we're happy about and excited about and hope that it happens here real soon, where law enforcement and churches get together and start sharing information about incidences that are happening inside our church. This is going to be a great conference. And, you know, tickets are $45. Tell me where you can go and get breakfast, snacks, and lunch and get to hear all these quality speakers for $45. Please come out. Save the date. October 16th. It's coming up soon. As I said, USC, go ahead.
Quick,
Sure.
Kern just said Cameron had a really interesting presentation last year. Good to see he's returning. And I do have to agree. Don't get hung up on the super smart stuff. He does a great job of dumbing it down for us normal people.
Yeah, I told him that he had to speak to where I understood, and that was at a 9th grade level. So he chuckled at me.
I'm at a 5th grade level. So
he said he was going to work on it and see if he couldn't do that for us. All right, USCCA. It doesn't, to me, it does not matter who you want to go with, but do not be carrying a concealed weapon without some sort of protection. You don't drive your car without protection. You should not be carrying a weapon without some sort of protection. If you get involved in an incident, and USCCA has changed their policy completely, they are now considered an insurance policy. So Ricky will be talking about the changes and inform you of what is going on with USCCA. Not only are they good as far as protecting you, but they're also good with their training information and their training products. They have fantastic training products. So these are just the things that this is why I recommend USCCA. The September members only Zoom meeting is canceled this month because I will be in Antioch Christian Church in Marion, Iowa. So if you know of somebody up there, or if you are up there listening to us tonight, we will be there on Saturday, September the 18th from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And we're going to be doing the what if training again. And this, we've expanded it. We've got a lot of things that we've picked up. People have been sending me things that have been happening in their churches. And so we've expanded this. This is becoming it's going to be one of our mainstay trainings because it's interactive training. It helps us see where you're at. It helps you see where you're at, because I'm not going to be giving you the answers. I'm going to put something in front of you, and I'm going to expect you to respond to tell me what you would do if this happened in your church. We're really excited. So if you're in that area, know somebody that's in that area, tell them to come. It's open. It's $20 per person for non-members, and you can register at TrinitySecurityAllies.com. The book is out there. The reviews are out. Go look at Google reviews. We have 5 stars on it. There have been some great reviews on it. People say they can't put the book down. Please go out to our webpage, TrinitySecurityAllies.com or God'sUnseenPlan.com, and purchase for a $20 donation. We send you a signed book. We're going to jump past that. I didn't realize that was in there. All right. Free resources out there. Trinity Security Allies. We have putting together a safety plan, developing a safety team, carrying weapons in church, and Sunday morning what to look for. All you have to do is download these. These are PDFs that you can download. Online membership program. Sign up today to access our online church safety training library for just $25 a month. This gives you live online trainings. You can access it anytime and share with your team. A membership will give you a ticket. Hey, you'd get a ticket to our annual church safety and liability conference. And of course, this all supports our ministry. And we cannot do this without you. We appreciate you so much. Hey, 5 years we've been going. It's coming up on our 6th year that we've been in a ministry. And so God has been good, and we really appreciate everything that y'all do for us. And of course, we have our church safety and security membership program for the churches. It's now, let me say something. Let me be perfectly clear here. Those of you that have already become a church member, you don't have to worry about this. The price is going to stay the same for you until as long as you stay a member with us. But the prices are going to go up. The reason why is because of cost. It's just like everything else. We've kept this price down as low as we could for the last couple of years, but now we're going to increase it some. I will tell you, there's other people out here that do this type of training that they charge so much more than we do, but we're not going to jack up the prices like they have. We're just going to increase it here. After the conference, we're going to start to increase the price a little bit. So if you're a church that's been on the fence, this is the time to get into it, because prices will increase here real soon. With this $1,200 a year that you get right now, you get 2 2-hour training sessions or a full day of training, scheduled phone calls on safety concerns as needed, 5 tickets to the annual church safety and liability conference, discounted full strength and weakness assessment with recommendations detailing priorities in your houses of worship, and your safety team, your whole team has full access to the online library and monthly member only calls. If your church cannot afford a membership, consider a local business owner in your church to sponsor your church through our Centurion Club. And to find out more information on memberships, go to trinitysecurityallies.com or contact Wendy at trinitysecurityallies.com. I need you to go out to YouTube and in quotation marks, put True Christian Talk and find us. Find this little symbol right here, the microphone that looks like, that has the cross underneath it with the headset on top, and subscribe. Facebook has kicked us off. We've went to YouTube. We've gone live on YouTube. We're live every Thursday at 11 o'clock. We want you to go out and subscribe for us, because once we get 100, YouTube gives us our own channel, which really helps us out. And that also keeps us on YouTube. We're less likely to be kicked off. And so please go out, True Christian Talk, put it in parentheses, because if you just type in True Christian on the YouTube search, you're going to find all sorts of things, but in quotation marks, I'm sorry, not parentheses, quotation marks, do True Christian Talk, and you'll find us right off the bat. We're just right there. And subscribe. Please help us out on this. And that is all I have for tonight, unless you have some other questions.
I see no other questions. I just wanted to say, as a non-biased listener of True Christian Talk, it is definitely a podcast or a video cast now worth listening to.
Yeah.
Non-biased,
of course, unbiased. But if you have not heard us, you need to be out there listening, because we talk about things that are truly affecting the country and our churches at the same time. So we want you to go out and listen, so that you have the ways that you can really start to take a stand against things that we're seeing in churches and against churches across the country. It is a battle that's going on out here for our churches across this country. And we need to make sure that we protect our rights to our religious freedom. So these are things that we get into and we talk about. So please go out and listen. There's a whole bunch of videos out there right now that you can go listen to. There's probably 14 to 16 videos. They're an hour long, and you get to hear Kevin and I talk about different things like critical race theory, intersectionality, just the elections, all the different things that we've been coming across. We talked about Afghanistan even, and the things that we have seen so far since we've kind of been under scrutiny and under attack. So
I see no questions and nothing in the chat.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming out tonight. We love you. If there's anything that you need, please give us a call, and we'll talk to you very soon. Be blessed. Be safe.